Hi, my name is Shannon Benton. I live at 1868 West Tuttle Park Road in Madison. I have 3 children, one at Redbird, one at the middle school, one at the high school. First day of school, my first grader did not get home until after 3 o'clock, which is over an hour from when he was expected. Luckily, he was on the correct bus. However, I do know that the bus drivers did not have school lists of students, addresses, or anything. So the bus I watched creep down the street, and you could see the bus driver asking each child, "Is this where you live? Is this where you live?"
Mm-hmm.
Kindergarten, first grade, second grade, yeah,
Right.
that's just the perfect way to get them home.
Right.
I have a middle school child who has special needs. He has Asperger's, high-functioning autism. He just went to the middle school this year.
Yo, Jake, get away from there. Up here now. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Up until this point, he had always been picked up and dropped off at the house. There's another family down the street whose children started middle school last year. They were picked up at the house. So I did not question at all where Brian would get picked up and put off the bus. Well, the first day of school, we assumed we missed the bus because the bus, we never saw it, so I drove him to school. That first day, Brian was not told still that he had a bus stop. I was completely unaware that they had bus stops at this point. Bus driver, at the end of his route, told my son to get off the bus. And Brian said that this isn't where I live. And the bus driver told him that this is the last stop and you have to get off the bus. So he did. And he stood there for a half an hour until his brother got extremely nervous and was wondering, because he was home and he knew how long it took to get from the high school to the middle school to where home should be, and found him just standing there a half an hour later.
Was he standing in the same place they dropped him off at?
Yeah, because he didn't know what a bus stop was, and he didn't know enough to come home because we had not explained it to him.
Mm-hmm.
And Asperger's kids live their lives by patterns, and when something interrupts that pattern, like being put off on a bus stop instead of his house, which is where he expected to be, he simply didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't wander around the neighborhood. The furthest he goes is across the street into the baseball field, and he runs around the bases to get some energy out.
Now, I assume you contacted the bus garage.
I contacted the bus garage that day, very concerned, obviously. They did return my phone call, and she took my information, and she said that she needed to gather more information to be able to tell me where the bus stop was, what time, all of those things. I said, that's fine. Just let me know by the end of today, and, Brian will be on the bus tomorrow. Everything will be fine. She did not return my call that night. So
this was Monday night, the first night, and she did not return your call?
Yes, did not return my call. So Tuesday, we still didn't know where the bus stop was.
Right.
So we made the assumption that the bus stop would be where he was dropped off.
Okay.
Apparently, the bus gets there at 8:05.
Mm-hmm.
When my son was in middle school, the bus didn't come down here till around 8:30.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't send Brian even out there until quarter after. So he completely missed the bus again. My husband brought him to school, talked to the office, said, we're having a lot of problems with this. Please contact the bus and have them call my wife.
Did you get a phone call at all that day?
No.
Okay.
Did not. Then, but this is the real winner, is that day the bus driver told Brian to get off at Sandgate and Shore, which is a couple blocks that direction, but not the place he had been dropped off the day before. If he had been dropped off in the same spot, he might have understood a little bit more what to do, but where he was, he didn't even know how to get home from there, let alone anything else. Now,
how old is your son?
He is 11,
and
he has autism, and he does not look like a special needs child. So when he said to the bus driver, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to get home, the bus driver, Brian said, you know where you live, get off the bus.
Have you ever had, how long have you been living in Madison?
4 years.
Have you ever had problems like this with your bus transportation before?
Never. Not in any way, shape, or form. The bus drivers had always been wonderful, whether it was the special needs bus, which he rode for a while, my other kids rode the regular buses, the kind of things they do. They'd have, birthday pencils, and if it was a holiday, they'd get a little gift bag, and it's not something I would expect everyone to do.
Right.
But it was the kind of thing that showed that these people really enjoy their jobs, and they really enjoyed our children.
As far as safety is concerned,
I was horrified. You can look on the Ohio State website for sex offenders. There is a sex offender who lives on Sandgate, and the incidence of abuse perpetrated against children, especially with special needs, is disproportionately high. It's compared to the regular population, because they simply don't know how to how to deal with those situations. And very often, especially if you have a child with a cognitive disability, people very often just simply don't believe them.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the case with Brian. Nothing happened. His brother found him again after riding all through the neighborhood for 45 minutes and finally found him. I did receive a phone call that day, and she gave me...
Come here. Come here.
Oh, did you fall?
Yeah, he's sitting there. He's flinging something around. Come here. Go ahead.
He did locate him and brought him home.